the challenge of our modern world is that we think that this brain is supposed to be there to make us successful. Yeah, okay. First of all, it's not the primary function of the brain. The primary function of the brain is to make you safe, okay? And then the secondary function that we push as humans to that brain to do is to invent iPhones and create podcasts and have amazing things, right? That's a secondary function. But believe it or not, before that secondary function, your brain is supposed to make you happy, because happy is the ultimate form for you to perform in life. The basics of the challenges we have with our brains is that we believe what our brains tell us, okay? So when my brain tell me they are the burden, they are the challenge, my whole being responds to that. My whole being starts to behave that way, okay? And I think what the reality that we miss when we do those things becomes what you have seen in the, if you like the movie Inception, when his wife had that thought, we're waiting for a train, basically that kept playing in her head over and over and over, that convinced her that this is not their real world, that they are in a dream, and that the way to go out of it is to die. That actually led her to committing suicide. And big opening of the movie, that my favorite movie line of all time is, what is the most resilient parasite? And the most resilient parasite is not a bacteria, it's not a virus, it is a thought that you implant deep in your brain and believe in it over and over and over through your life. And it shapes everything. It shapes everything, interestingly, without you even knowing why you're doing what you're doing, is because of that thought, because of that belief, because of that ideology. And you can go all the way to people who have ideas that lead to wars or to destruction or to terrorist acts or whatever. It's just one idea seeded deep enough in our head that really leads us to become who we are. And digging out that idea and finding it, that's the basic. The basic is to find those thoughts and how you can deal with them so that you eradicate them, so that you can actually live true to who you are, not the thoughts that have been implanted in your brain. So there are, as I always talk about, there are 3 compartments in our brains, okay? One compartment is what I call compartment 1, which are things that are true and we know are true, okay? The other is compartment 3, which are things that are not true and we know they're not true, okay? And the majority of what's happening inside us is what I call compartment 2, which are things that are undecided. We either don't know them, or we know that they're not aligned, but we can live with them for now. We don't prioritize them. What matters is not solving them. What matters is marking them as compartment 2. If you mark them as compartment 2 in your head, you go like, okay, hold on, this topic is unresolved. It's not within my priority today, but I need to come back to that topic. Just like my choice of relationships, right? It takes a long time and a lot of experimenting after my separation with my wife to try and get to a point where I actually know that I'm going to put in the time and investigate where I am in life. Throughout that time, I acknowledge to myself and I say, this is compartment 2. I don't know what I want. I don't. And the point is, so many of those exist. If you live assuming that it's compartment 1, you're completely messed up, right? Because your actions are not matching your feelings, and your feelings are not matching your thoughts. Okay? You're not complete. You're not full. You're not settled. That idea of equilibrium. Most people, the easiest way to imagine it visually is to imagine a pendulum. If your life is in equilibrium, it's in total balance, that total balance is the point at which minimal effort is needed to live. If you're in balance, you're not struggling. Okay? Just like the pendulum. The pendulum, when it's at its equilibrium point, you literally need 0 force to keep it in the equilibrium point forever. You don't have to apply any force to it. You want to push it a little bit to the right, you have to apply a force and keep that force for as long as you want it to stay within that place. And that's what we do with our lives all the time. That our nature, our balance, our equilibrium is not exactly how we're living. And so we're constantly applying effort. We're constantly trying to be in a place that is not our natural place to be. We want to be there, so we apply the effort. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not, because life is cyclical, okay? And life is all compromises, as we start. But the trick is to say, when I am in that place, I am aware that this place is not my natural tendency, and I am okay with that, because that place gives me A, B, and C. There is a utility to that place. At the same time, I want to tell myself openly that I'm heading from that place to that point of equilibrium. That could be by saying, in the next 7 years, I'm not going to do anything about it, but in 7 years' time, I'm going to start to head in that equilibrium. Or you could say, I'm going to take a step every day for the next 7 years, whichever way you want. Or you can also tell yourself, I don't care. I know it's not my equilibrium, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I believe in. I think that's very much at the state I'm in. Okay? If you ask me, I'd like to be in, 50% of the year doing absolutely nothing, okay, with someone I absolutely love, with a very simple life, but that's not my life every day. And I know that to be true, and I will do it for a while to go, because I have assigned myself something that I believe requires that effort. The other thing that humans do, most of us, is we leave a lot of pendulums out of equilibrium. So it's actually quite easy to tell yourself, look, my number one pendulum is my work. Okay, I'm going to put that in equilibrium. Then my second pendulum in importance is relationship, or reverse them if you want. The third is my impact. The fourth is my friendships. The fifth is my health, and so on. And then the game is, if you want your work to actually benefit, put the others in equilibrium. Okay? Or acknowledge to yourself that they're not, but don't complain about it. Don't feel bad about it. And if you do that, you manage to then simply focus yourself on the one that is your most priority, and then life is, in an interesting way, linear that way. In physics, it's instead of the parallel processing of trying to fix all of them at the same time, you're simply saying, I'm going to process them in series. I'm going to fix this work element pendulum first, and when it's done, I'll fix the next one, and then when it's done, I'll fix the next one. And it's a constant journey. So you're not alone. I'm exactly like you, constantly searching and constantly reflecting and investigating and finding that equilibrium. The challenge of our modern world is that we think that this brain is supposed to be there to make us successful. First of all, it's not the primary function of the brain. The primary function of the brain is to make you safe. And then the secondary function that we push as humans to that brain to do is to invent iPhones and create podcasts and have amazing things, right? That's a secondary function. But believe it or not, before that secondary function, your brain is supposed to make you happy, because happy is the ultimate form for you to perform in life. If you're not happy, you're not as effective as you could be at achieving survival. Think about it. If you're grumpy all the time at work, people don't like you. You're not focused. No one wants to help you. You're wasting most of your time, your brain cycles, thinking about the negative, and so you're not innovative or creative, and so on and so forth. It degrades your performance. Happy is a better place for you to be at work, because it will make your customers want to do business with you. It will make your colleagues want to, to help you out. It will make your boss welcome you in their team, and so on and so forth. We are social animals by definition, and we want to have that in our life. And the easiest way to connect and to open up and to discover the world is to be in a happy place. That's a primary function of your brain. So if my wiring is to look at everything and see what's wrong with it, I should deliberately force my brain to look for what's right with it. Basically, what you can do is, for every negative thought that your brain gives you, task it with the task of giving you a positive one. Because in reality, if you look at life around you, more than 90% of life is okay.